let's talk about winter trends. I feel like winter fashion is so fun because it's like taking on a fashion challenge. Because we wear coats and jackets all the time, so it's hard to have a unique and cool outfit every day, since we usually have the styled outfit underneath. Because I have been this content creator who takes her jacket off in the middle of the snowy streets to take some winter outfit pictures. But this year we are not doing that, we are keeping our jackets on. So this takes me to my first point, which is accessorizing coats, and you can accessorize in so many different ways. For example, you can change the belt for a leather one, or take a scarf and tie it around your waist, which has been a trend this year where we have been wrapping scarves around tees and shirts. So you can do the same thing for your coat, and I think it's so fun because it adds some pattern to the outfit. Another way you can style your coat is by letting the outfit underneath peek out in a way that it adds detail. And the way that I like to do it is through contrasting materials and textures. For example, sheer material like lace or chiffon that is very dainty against the darker and thicker coat fabric. And lace and ruffles in this boho style has been trendy this year, so you can just continue incorporating those pieces in your winter outfits in a very interesting and fun way. Continuing on the topic of coats and jackets, and something I mentioned in my 2025 fashion predictions, I talked about rounded collars, and we have been seeing a lot of those lately this year. But something that's also gotten some attention is the funnel neck. I think it's very practical for winter because it protects your neck from the wind, but I don't think you need to go and buy a whole new jacket in that kind of style specifically, because you can usually just fold up the collar in most of the jackets and coats already. So it's nice that this detail is trendy because it's easily recreatable. And another thing that I spoke about in my video was fur collars and cuffs, because like fur coats and fur details are very in, but something specific about the fur collars that I'm thinking about is when you have it as a separate piece, you know, just the collar, and styling it in your own way. And I think we might see it styled with like a dress or a top, which would make a really elegant and cozy outfit going out, like for example Christmas dinner. But yeah, fur accessories are definitely gonna show up more, like the whole category of fur scarves as well. But something else I've noticed are those fox tails. I saw a picture of it as a keychain, and it was recently, so I don't really know how to feel about it yet. But I find it kind of interesting because I feel like this winter is so fox inspired. And on that note, the fox color is like burnt orange, copper. I think it's gonna be popular, especially since we had like burgundy last winter and butter yellow this summer. So continuing on those like warm tones, but for winter like a little bit darker, so copper. I might be reaching, this might be just things that I want to wear and what I'm drawn to. So I'm gonna leave this one as a prediction. Moving on to the next thing, it's ponchos slash capes. This one I think is inspired by the ponchos we saw this summer, and I think people will just continue incorporating that kind of style this winter. And I believe people will, no, I can't say believe. And I believe people will believe and will in the same sentence, it's so hard to pronounce. And I believe people will continue incorporating that kind of style into their winter outfits. I couldn't really find any pictures of what I'm thinking about, but something I would really want to try is styling the classic knitted poncho over a coat, you know, like a scarf. And I think this could be the continuation of the different ways to accessorize your coat in winter. That being said, this trend is so simple because you could just take a scarf and drape it that way to create the same effect. Now moving on to jewelry, I think big statement pieces are still very trendy, but last time I talked about necklaces, I spoke about beads and pearls. But recently I saw some pictures here and there of this tassel necklace, and I feel like long pendant necklaces haven't been trendy for a while, but with this boho style on the rise, it was only a matter of time before this would start trending. And I do really like them, as you can see, they add to your outfit, and I'm so here for all types of statement pieces. Next is tunics, like a long top or almost like a short dress. And this one, I feel like it kind of plays off of the dress over pants style, but that look is a bit bold for some people, so I feel like a tunic is a nice middle ground. Therefore, I think more people will participate in this trend. I have already started seeing those slip dress tops in stores, styled over pants and under a knit top, which I think it's a cute look for winter. But there is a specific silhouette that we are gonna see more of, where the top part is loose and then on the waist to hip area is more tight. Something you can do to recreate that look is by adding a belt on your hips over a long loose top. And I think it's not just gonna be tops with this silhouette, but also like dresses, jackets and knits. I have been wanting a knit top in this kind of style because all my knits are very baggy and I live in knits all winter, and there is something about this silhouette that's giving a little bit more elegant feel to it. Next thing, I don't really know how to call it, but like double layers. And obviously layers are inevitable. Oh my god. And obviously layers are inevitable in winter, but what I mean is like having two similar pieces and then layering them. So let's say two cardigans. I think this one is so fun because there are so many different ways you can play around with it. Different styles, textures and colors, and it's like clothes you already own. And you know, you're keeping yourself very warm with all those layers, so it's both practical and very creative. And we can't talk about winter trends without the festive fashion. For this year, I really do feel like fringe is gonna be a big part because it's already been popping up here and there recently. I'm so here for the leather fringe, but this glittery string fringe is so festive, so I think it's the perfect time for it. I have already talked about this sheer fabric and I think it's just gonna continue on for the festive outfit as well, like lace and ruffles, and some pieces might have like sequins sewn into it to give off a little bit more festive vibe. So those were some of the winter trends that I think are gonna be big this winter. And to sum everything up, I feel like a lot of those trends are very 70s inspired. I'm obviously living in my little bubble and those are things that I have noticed and picked out. But if you have any other thoughts or speculations, I'm curious, so just comment and let me know.